So tell me, what's always at the top of your Christmas wish list? Why, watching the Rankin Bass specials, of course. No holiday season would be complete without the annual viewing of their animated classics. For decades, these enchanting television specials have become a staple of the family holiday tradition, entertaining generations of children of all ages.
Instead of writing happy endings, they rely on magic.
They hold something for us because it brings us back to the memory of what Christmas was. And for many people, Christmas was watching Frosty.
You start getting analytical, but you know what, it boils down to one thing. They're good. That's it.
Arthur Rankin Jr. and Jules Bass started making holiday magic over 40 years ago. Both men worked for many years in entertainment and advertising before joining forces in the mid-1950s.
Arthur Rankin was a television art director for ABC in the early days of ABC when they did most of their shows live. Jules Bass was writing jingles and working for an ad agency and became friends with Arthur. I know they used to play cards and things like that. They decided to form a company in the late 50s called Videocraft International, which eventually, years later, became Rankin Bass Productions. It's because Jules could do things that Arthur couldn't do, like write lyrics.
Who would know the difference if Santa Claus was me?
Jules was very laid back. He had his, boots on the desk. Arthur was very proper, always had a suit on. He was always, it was just two different guys, but they really got on, and they were a wonderful team. They were like heat miser, coal miser.
In the beginning, commercial work was the company's bread and butter, but both men had a fascination with animation. Then they found out about a new stop-motion process called Animagic.
I had been invited to Japan by an arm of the government to look at their animation facilities and see if they could any way collaborate. And one of the techniques that they showed me was stop motion.
Arthur knew and had a great love for the Japanese culture, and knew that they could do things with animation very quickly that couldn't be done in the States.
The technique was wonderful. It's like doing a live film, only in miniature. You build the sets in scale. The characters are built with armature in all points. They're costumed. They have makeup put on them, and then they're placed in front of the scene that they're going to work for.
They were built like small dolls. Not claymation. A lot of people call Rankin Bass animation claymation, which is aggravating because it's a puppet that was intricately designed. All of the clothes were designed like tailors would design clothes for people, just like you would make an expensive doll.
So I thought, listen, if we adapt this technique into our style with our design, it can be a first for television. And it was.
These tiny handcrafted puppets would become the trademark of Rankin Bass Productions.
Our team at that time consisted of storyboards Don Duga, Romeo Muller's script, music Maury Laws, and if I must say so, we had two good guys running the company. We worked and liked our work and liked each other. We were close friends, all of us.
They would always start with a famous Christmas carol and then totally expand on it with Romeo Muller's writing. And Romeo was like a real Santa Claus. He was a huge guy with a beard that was known for writing these great shows.
I wrote the arrangements, and Jules and I began to write songs together, and we wound up writing hundreds of songs.
It's gonna snow, ho, ho, right here in Dixie.
Maury Laws and Jules Bass wrote most of the songs for the Rankin Bass holiday specials.
Right here in Dixie, we'll do-si-do in the snow, so I've been told.
Maury has this bouncy feel to his music, where he uses a lot of xylophones and little accents to the music that make it sound like it's a holiday song. And no one else has matched that quality.
It will be cold. It will be cold on Christmas Day. Hey, hey, right here in Dixie. We'll do-si-do in the snow, so we've been told.
I was doing freelance cartoons in New York and working for Mad Magazine as well as other magazines. And Arthur Rankin saw my work and asked me to come in and talk about doing a lot of characters. Frosty the Snowman could not be easier since it's just a series of circles. You know, circle for the head, circle for the body, and then add arms and legs and a hat, put a flower on the hat, and that. But it's a wonderful character, very appealing, and it's gone on for years.
All of these are related to our childhood, whether you're our age or whether you're a kid of 15 or 16, you remember. And the only one that was really new was The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Because of the enormous popularity of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rankin Bass decided to produce another heartwarming story about the continuing adventures of Kris Kringle.
It was a year without a Santa Claus.
In this captivating tale, Santa Claus wants to skip Christmas, but Mrs. Claus shows him how appreciated he is by the world.
The worst we've ever had. Santa woke up one day looking tough.
Phyllis McGinley had written a Pulitzer Prize winning story. It was a very short book. It was just 6 pages, 12 pages or so, with just a few lines and illustrations on each page. But the germ of the story was good, and her name was very appealing to us, and a Pulitzer Prize winner. We just took that property and that book to ABC and said, this is what we want to do next. So when we came with that property, that was not a difficult thing to sell.
I believe in Santa Claus, like I believe in love. I believe in Santa Claus and everything he does.
Santa woke for the night, feeling things weren't right, and he was heard to say,
Get the reindeer hitched up, Mama, I'm getting up. Get those gifts loaded up on the sleigh.